Hey everybody, my name is Susan Argyle, and today my speech for you will tell you why I am not a true Filipino. Now, even though my mother is from the island of Leyte, she's a Filipino, there are some out there that tell me that I'm not a true Filipino because I don't have the stomach for exotic Filipino street food. Now, in December of 2014, I started my journey over to the island of Bacolod to go help the Filipino people and teach them. And after some time, I did get the language down. In fact, I learned 5 different languages, and I got really accustomed to the culture. They used to say that if you close your eyes and turn around, that if they heard me speak, that I would just sound like a true Filipino. I didn't sound like an American anymore. So a lot of people were really impressed with me. But there was one person that wasn't, and that was my friend Lynn. She told me that even though I knew about the customs and I knew the languages, that I wasn't a true Filipino because I couldn't down the food. So I said, okay, challenge accepted, let's go. Now the first thing that she gave me was something called Betamax, which is like a Filipino blood sausage. And I thought, well, I don't really like blood, but it is like grilled, right? So maybe it's a little smoky, like I can get through this. So I tried the first bite and got a little dizzy. And then I tried the second bite and got a little more dizzy. And I eventually finished it, but for the rest of the day I couldn't walk straight. So that was challenge number 1. The second challenge came when I was riding through the jungle in the middle of the night on what's called a tricycle, or basically like a motorcycle with a car attached to it. Now we hit something, and in returning back to figure out what we had hit, we found that it was a giant snake. In true Filipino fashion, they took it home and they cooked it. Now the Filipinos ate it like it was just nothing, right? To them it was just meat. But to me, it was a snake, and every single bite that I took, there was a voice in the back of my head telling me, like, this is a snake. Like, you're eating a snake, right? So that was kind of like a mental thing that I had to go through, but I was able to do it. So those were the first and second experiences. And the third came right before I was about to go home. Now I was in the home stretch. It was about a month before I was going to return back to the States, and my Filipino companion challenged me to eat balut. Now, if you know what balut is, it is a half-developed duck egg. So I was like, well, I'm a true Filipino, I can do this. So he sat down, and I ate the white part, and it was good. It was really hard, but it was good. Ate the yellow part, and it was good. Drank the soup, it was all right. And then we got to the fetus. And the fetus is just a black little chicken, has little legs, depending on how old it is. It has feathers and a beak. But I was going to prove that I was a real Filipino, right? So I was like, hey, I'm gonna eat this. So it went down. The only problem is, after a minute, it came back up. But I still counted as being eaten. So I ate balut. So in conclusion, I can speak 5 Filipino languages, and I understand the customs, I can get around the islands, and I know everything about the Philippines. I love their food, I love the sinigang and the rice and the pancit. But there's one thing that I can't stomach, and that's Filipino street food. And because of that, I am not a true Filipino.